That's the Princeton Cheer Squad bringing the Friday night vibes. Thanks so much, ladies. Great job. Hey, everyone. Joe Trahan with you again tonight, and it is Friday Night Football, fifth quarter. Man, we got a good slate of games for you on this night. We're under the Friday night lights where we love to be, and we've got a great show in store for you. I am in Princeton, where the Panthers hosted Allen. I'll get to those highlights tonight, but we got tons of games to get to. In fact, the big one, Mike Leslie on Friday Night Football. He had DeSoto taking on Duncanville. And then we had a 10-6A matchup where our Michelle Montaigne was at. She was at North Forney. They hosted Rockwall-Heath. We'll get to that one as well. But listen, let's start with the big one because, you know, when it comes to winning championships and when it comes to drama and putting together good games, Duncanville and DeSoto know how to do it. That's why they are a staple of Friday Night Football. That game is on every year. Mike on the call again tonight. And Mike, tell us how it played out on this night between the Eagles and the Panthers.
Hey, Joe, thanks. Yeah, listen, this is the fifth straight year that we have done this broadcast, and it has grown to become, over the course of this span, the rivalry that burns the hottest in Texas high school football right now. It's not the one that has the 100-year lineage that an Ennis-Waxahachie or some of the really long-term rivalries in this state has. But this game has burned the hottest lately. Two teams that have both won two state championships over the course of the last few seasons, and two teams that routinely pump out 5-star and 4-star prospects, college football players ad nauseum, and 36 professional football players, and more to come, because the last 3 or 4 years, it has hit another level with what these two programs have pumped out. It is a game that just means a little bit more than every other high school football game in the state each year, at least from a regular season standpoint. Let's show you how this year's game shook out, because it was a really special performance from Max Denson, the Duncanville quarterback, who kind of burst on the scene tonight. This touchdown pass to Trenton Yancey made it 21-6, and then this play right before half made it 28-6. He read the blitz and found his hot read in Ace Theus for the touchdown, 28-6 Duncanville. But DeSoto would answer two quick scores before halftime, and this play from Sherrod Baker is an all-timer. What a catch this was. One-handed between two defenders, hauls it in, sets up first and goal, and on the next play, the touchdown pass from legend Howell to Boobie Feaster, his second touchdown reception of the half, and it was 28-20 at the break. But Duncanville would shut off Boobie Feaster in the second half, and Trenton Yancey would just keep it going. Another really good read of a blitz. He hits the touchdown pass to Emmanuel Ellison, a 50-yard touchdown hookup. Denson threw for 350 yards and 7 touchdowns. This one to Trenton Yancey. Yancey had 2. Ellison had 2. Ace Theus had 2. Zach Turner hauled in the other one. And Max Denson announced himself on the Texas high school football scene tonight. We had already talked about what a great name he is. Maximus the Great King Denson is his full name. He lived up to every bit of the gaudy name his parents gave him at birth. A terrific performance tonight from Max Denson to announce himself as the next dude for the Duncanville Panthers at the quarterback position, Joe. He was sensational tonight, and it's a 48-28 final in favor of Duncanville. The rumors of their demise very clearly premature.
And that's the thread I want to pull upon, Mike, because, you know, we've heard the talk. Was this the year where they were really going to struggle? And was this the year when maybe they wouldn't have that big run in them after having seen them against a quality DeSoto team? How do you handicap that?
I think that 6A D1 is absolutely wide open this year. South Lake Carroll, number 1 team in the state, almost assuredly going to go. 6A D2. 6A D1 is as wide open as it has been in, oh my goodness, maybe 15 years. It's been a very long time since it's been this wide open. You've got Allen that looks really good. I know you saw them tonight. I'll be curious your thoughts on what you saw from Allen tonight. But this Duncanville team looks to be not every bit as good as they've been the last couple of years, because the last couple of years they had 5 stars all over the place. Keelan Russell, DeCorian Moore, they were super loaded. they're still very, very good and every bit capable of winning a state championship again this year. It's just going to be a more difficult path because there are so many quality teams that they're going to hit along the way. Certainly Allen, possibly, maybe North Crowley. If North Crowley can beat Allen, there's some good teams out there. C.E. King looked unbelievable last night, beating Summer Creek, who was ranked number 3 in the state. It's as wide open as it could possibly be, but Duncanville has to be considered part of the equation, Joe.
All right, great stuff there. Hang tight. We'll check in with you later. Back here at Princeton, you know, this Panther squad, it's a really interesting story because this program is really just 1 year removed from being a 5A Division II squad, not 5A Division I stepping up to 6A, which they have done, but 5A Division II coming all the way up to 6A, and that means being in this division, being in this district where they play the likes of Allen, with one of the largest schools in the entire state. Let's take a look at this because, listen, Allen came into here tonight and provided an absolutely stiff test for the Panthers. The Eagles were actually already up 7-zip when QB Jeremiah Dowd uncorks the deep ball for Carter Harris, 68 yards, and it's 14-zip Allen. That duo is absolutely dangerous. They would hook up again, this time from 20 yards out. Allen taking a 21-zip lead at that point. Then the Eagles bring in highly touted freshman quarterback Ty Snell. This guy can sling it too. Perfect pass here to Caleb Smith. It's a 29-yard strike, and I mean strike, that made it 28-zip at that point. Snell would add another TD pass, and it's cruise control after that. The Eagles now 7-0 on the year. They win big tonight, 62-14. Coach, it was a dominating performance tonight. What do you like from your team that you saw on this night?
Just the way that they continue to play hard. You know, they compete, made great plays in all 3 phases of the game. Sloppy at times, really, in all 3. You know, there's breakdowns. We gave up a big kick return, stumped our toe quite a few times offensively, gave up some uncharacteristically big plays defensively, but they just keep playing hard. You know, I think to early when they put the drive together in that first half and would come up with the blocked field goal, you know, just continue to play hard, and they do that with such pride, and that's the thing I'm most proud of.
When you talk about, you got a couple of quarterbacks, Coach, that can really throw the ball around. Can you talk about your responsibility trying to get them both some playing time, making sure that they're both sharp?
Yeah, we don't try to get them both playing time. You know, they both practice incredibly hard. They earn reps, and when they get out there, they play at a high level. And if one of them's continue to play high, then the other one's going to watch him and cheer him on. And they do such a phenomenal job. If you ever watch us play, the guy that didn't start the game goes in, throws a touchdown pass. The first guy to him meets him on the 10-yard line, chest bumping. He was the quarterback that started the game. They just love each other. They love competing, and they love seeing the Allen Eagles make plays.
Can you talk about the chemistry that helps develop, and the chemistry of this team overall as you guys try and get where you want to go? And I know that that's a very important component of getting there.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I think what I just described, everyone else sees that, right? And you talk about the position that might be under the biggest light is the quarterback position, and when you see that position, say, you know what, it's not about what I do. All it's about is about us. It's about having fun playing this game. And again, when you watch them practice, they practice so hard, and they know that they all want to be out there, and they all feel like they've earned the right to be out there every snap. But when they're not, they're just as happy for those who are.
And I want to ask you one other thing, because I don't normally ask this question, Coach, but I think I have to. That Princeton team over there is just a year removed from being 5A Division II. They're up here with you guys, one of the largest schools in the state, and they played hard.
Oh, at all levels. They're doing such an incredible job. I love their coaching staff. I love the way they coach. I love what they're doing with their team. And again, they have some really good, talented players, but they're doing an incredible job coaching them. My hat's off to them. That's what I told them. I love everything about what they're doing. Fun to play against because you know it's coached at a high level.
Jeremiah, it was a dominating performance tonight. Can you talk about early in this game when you hit the really big pass, the 68-yarder, and how that kind of spurred you guys on?
Yes, sir. So I wouldn't have been able to do it without my O-line. You know, they gave me the time I needed, and then I just saw him come open, and I just gave him a chance, and he made a play.
When you think about this game tonight, what kind of statement does it make? Because, I mean, listen, it ended up being a really dominating performance.
Well, you know what? We got the best defense in the state, and we got the best offense in the state, and we went out and dominated, you know, 62-14. Not many other teams can do that.
When you talk about the things that you do, the things that Ty does, and the way that you guys kind of really cheer each other on, I saw the chest bump right after the touchdown that he scored. Can you tell me about the relationship between you guys and how that helps run this team the right way?
Yeah, you know, like every day we're competing, and, you know, he's a great quarterback, one of the best I've ever seen. And I just want to thank my coach, Coach Kane. He pushes us to be best. the best we can, and, you know, we got nothing but love for each other. So when he makes a play, I'm going to be happy for him, and I hope he's the same for me.
Listen, you guys put on some of the best shows we see under the Friday night lights. How much fun is it being out there doing what you do?
It's awesome, yeah. And the coaches make it so much worth it. They push us every day, and without our coaches, we wouldn't be here.
Marching down the field.
All right, now let's head to Lancaster. The Tigers hosting Skyline. And the home team is on cruise control in the second quarter. Isaiah Lee takes the handoff, bounces outside, throws a stiff arm, races in for the 8-yard touchdown. 35-zip Tigers at that point. And you've got to see this. Later in the quarter, it's a double fake handoff. Then Christian Daughtry finds the big man, Zachary East. Great hands in the corner of the zone. Tigers up 42-zip at the halftime. They win this one big. Final there, 55-zip. At Choctaw Stadium, Arlington Sam Houston facing Arlington High. The Colts strike first in this one thanks to a bounce. It's Coleman Cravens. It's a pass deflected off the defender's hands, and then Jamar Burton gets into the zone, 17 yards touchdown and a 7-zip lead. Second quarter, Texans get a play from their defense. Caleb Harris steps in front. He's gone. 44 yards for the game-tying touchdown. We're tied at 7 at the half. Late in the second half now, the Colts start to pull away. Cravens finds a wide-open William Nelson for the 45-yard touchdown, and Arlington, the Colts, take it tonight by the final of 38-16. As I mentioned earlier in the show, we got our cameras and our crews all around North Texas bringing you some of the best high school football that we can. And so that takes us to a 10-6A affair right now between North Forney and Rockwall-Heath. Our Michelle Montaigne is there at an absolute barn burner. Michelle, give us the latest.
Joe, I think I am sweating and I've done absolutely nothing. Like, that is how insane this game has been. Just seconds ago, we got our first play of overtime, and I don't know if you can hear all of the screaming and cheering behind me, but this game is very much on the ropes with a chance for a big upset or an unbeaten streak to live on. Let me set the stage, right? North Forney comes into this game undefeated. They have one of the best players in the nation in Legend Bay as their quarterback. He had a Class 6A Dallas area best 15 rushing touchdowns coming into this game. And then you have Rockwall-Heath, who's coming off a bye and really trying to use that rest to their advantage. So let's take a look at how we got here. We'll get into these highlights. The Falcons were up 7-0 after they scored on their first possession, but the Hawks would answer on their opening drive with a trick play to the end zone. Shaw Gary to Isaac Zmerzlikar were all tied up at 7. And we got to shout out special teams in this one. An onside kick recovery from the Hawks that led to a Hawks touchdown just 2 plays later. And from there, Rockwall-Heath poured it on in the first, thanks to this guy in large part. Carter Zom with a 40-yarder to the house. He finished with almost 150 yards on the ground. But of course, Legend Bay did find his way. Second quarter took it in from 5 yards out. He finished with 3 more rushing touchdowns in this one, over 500 yards on offense for North Forney. But the Hawks had their best offensive game of the season. Prosper Neal hits Isaac Zmerzlikar for his second touchdown of the half. It was 42-21 Rockwall-Heath at the half, and that gets us to present day. As you can see, the game is going on behind me. As I said, first play of overtime, and North Forney finds their way to the end zone, but they also then got a blocked extra point attempt. So right now, they lead by just 6 points, and right now Rockwall-Heath is driving, trying to find their own way into the end zone. Joe, it has been absolutely crazy over here in North Forney.
That sounds like a blast, so much so that we're going to check in with you a little bit later, so hang tight first. We'll get the latest on that game. But right now, we've got more highlights for you, and let's get to them. It's Plano taking on Prosper. Man, Prosper has had a great season. We'll see if the Wildcats can hang with them. Braden Imhoff was on the QB keeper here. He finds a crease, and he's off to the races, 68 yards for the touchdown there, and it's 10-zip Prosper after 1. Then in the second quarter, Plano trying to respond, but Prosper's defense forces the fumble. Tyson Stiggers scoops and scores 50 yards on the fumble return touchdown. It's 31-3 at halftime, and Prosper goes on to win that one. The final there, 45-14. As I said, Prosper just having a great year so far this year. All right, back here at Princeton, I do want to make one absolute proclamation. I want to thank Princeton because the Panthers treated me like I was one of their own. The hospitality couldn't have been any nicer. So thanks so much. Just one of the best experiences, one of those great Friday Night Lights experiences. Listen, it's a 6A school now, but it still has that small town feel. And speaking of one of the best, whenever you get a chance to see the Allen Eagle Escadrille, it's an absolute treat. So right now, we want to get away from the football for just a minute because it's time to strike up the band. They always do a great job. The Allen Eagle Band, so many of them, they do a great job. Light them up perfectly and absolutely apropos for this. Great job by the band. They made this night just a little bit more fun if you're an Allen Eagle. Princeton Panthers, tough night, but again, great spirit. And Lee Wigginton, you heard him, the head coach of the Allen Eagles, say it before. The way that this team plays here at Princeton, it's fantastic to watch. They get after it, they hit hard, and it was a fun and fantastic night here. All right, before we close the show tonight, though, let's bring the whole group back together. How about we do it? Because we got some unfinished business, first of all, and then I want to hear from Mike as well. But let's start with Michelle. Michelle, give us the very latest from that fantastic game you're covering.
Oh my God, Joe. That is the sound of a walk-off extra point game winner. The end of North Forney's win streak. Rockwall-Heath scores on their fourth down overtime attempt on a Carter Zom touchdown reception. When he's in triple coverage, his helmet comes off on the touchdown reception, but that gives Rockwall-Heath a chance to win it with a converted extra point, and that is exactly what just happened behind me. As you can hear, probably, Rockwall-Heath fans are going crazy. Obviously, it's devastation for this North Forney team who, like I said, came into this 6-0, but wow, this game had everything and more, and as I just said, Rockwall-Heath is going to win it by a final of 56-55.
Wow. It's why we do what we do. I mean, we have these incredible games. What a fantastic ball game. That turned out to be swings back and forth. What an absolute roller coaster. Great stuff there. Back here at Princeton, Mike and I were talking before, and he wanted to hear kind of my thoughts on Allen. And I'll say this. They've got a ton of talent. They're big. They're skillful. They got two quarterbacks. I mean, Jeremiah Dowd, Ty Snell. I mean, they can both sling it. The Carter Harris kid, good receiver. Caleb Smith, speed burner, special teams guy, great receiver. Made a couple of fantastic catches. We showed one of them. That was a fantastic catch. We showed two of his touchdowns. But, Mike, they've got all of the right ingredients, and I can't wait to see how all the seedings break out, to see who ends up playing who. But I do think that you got a chance to see that. Listen, Duncanville's not going to go quietly into that night. Reginald Sample is not going to let that happen with this club.
No, there's no two ways about that. Reginald Samples wants number 3. There's no question. It's interesting, though, because the likelihood is you do see Allen North Crowley again in the regional final. And the winner of that game likely does play, frankly, the winner of a Duncanville-Waxahachie rematch, probably in the other side of the bracket. It was 2018 that Duncanville beat Allen in the state semifinals and kind of closed the book on Allen's run of dominance. They were the defending champs in 2018. They won it all in 2017. It's hard not to wonder if Allen kind of gets their lick back all these years later and maybe closes the book as North Crowley kind of started to do last year. They think, they hope, maybe Allen has their opportunity to get some revenge this year on Duncanville. We could be cruising toward that matchup come middle of December.
Yeah, that'll be really interesting, right? Because, in fact, sports photojournalist Paul Melton and I, and you know, Paul, of course, he's the high school guru as well. We're talking about if Duncanville had the quarterback, and my man Maximus the Great seems like he's coming on. So great stuff there. Michelle, great stuff from that game that turns out to be an absolute barn burner, and we got the final for you before we finished up. So listen, we appreciate you being a part of the show. This is what we do on Friday nights here on WFAA Plus. It's an absolute blast to do it. We love bringing you under the Friday night lights with us because we love being here. It's just great stuff. It's unscripted. You never know what's going to happen, and it almost always turns out to be fantastic, just like it did tonight. All right, everybody, I hope you have a fantastic football weekend. If you're going to Red River Rivalry, be careful, enjoy yourself. Have a great football weekend, everyone. We'll see you next week on Friday Night Football, 5th quarter, Friday night at 10:40 on WFAA Plus.